Hello everyone and welcome to lesson 4.3. Here's our objective. I will be able to multiply fractions. Let's just jump right in right away with 1/3 times 1/4. Both of these are fractions. And what you need to know when you multiply fractions is you multiply the numerators and then you multiply the denominators. And if you could simplify, you do. In this case, we won't be able to. But 1 times 1 equals 1, and 3 times 4 equals 12. So 1/3 times 1/4 equals 1/12. Not complicated stuff just yet. Let's take a look at two other examples. I have 1/2 times 3/5. 1 times 3, simply 3. And 2 times 5, my denominators, equals 10. These don't have any common factors, so my answer is 3/10. When we move to the next example, there will be common factors, so we will have to simplify. 2 times 5. So let's do our 2/3 times 5/6. All right, 2 times 5 equals 10, and 3 times 6 equals 18. Now 10/18, those are both even numbers, so I know they could be divided by 2. They have a common factor of 2. 10 divided by 2 equals 5, and 18 divided by 2 equals 9. So my answer is 5/9. Now 10/18 is also my answer, but it's going to ask you to put it in simplest form most of the time, and 5/9 is simplest form. Let me read this to you. You have the option to simplify before multiplying, but you don't have to. But it will help when you're dealing with larger numbers, which you'll see in the following pages. All right, let's not simplify yet. Let's just solve this first. 3/4 times 5/6. Well, 3 times 5 equals 15, and 4 times 6 equals 24. Now, do these have common factors? Yes, they do. They actually have the greatest common factor of 3. 15 divided by 3 equals 5, and 24 divided by 3 equals 8. So my answer is 5/8. So I'm going to write that up there to remember that. But now I want to show you that you could reduce beforehand. All right? So if you look at your numerator on the first problem and your denominator on the second fraction, you'll see that 3 and the 6 both have a greatest common factor of 3. So I could reduce those right away and rewrite my problem. All right, when you're reducing beforehand, you have to reduce with the numerator and the denominator. So I could reduce this numerator with this denominator. I could reduce this numerator with this denominator. And I could also reduce across that numerator with that denominator. And I could reduce that numerator with that denominator. Now, 5 and 4 don't have any common factors besides 1, so I'm not going to reduce those. So I'm going to rewrite this. 3 divided by 3 equals 1. So that's going to become 3/4 becomes 1/4. And 5/6, well, greatest common factor between 3 and 6 was 3. 6 divided by 3 equals 2. So now I'm left with 1/4 times 5/2. Okay? When I multiply that out, 1 times 5 equals 5. And 4 times 2 equals 8. I get my same answer. Now you might say that took more time doing that way, but when you get larger, more difficult problems, it might make more sense to reduce or simplify before you move on to multiplying. Let's take a look at the first example up here. We have 5/6 times 9/10. I'm going to rewrite that. Now, once again, I can reduce after, but I'm going to be smart and reduce first. All right, because I see that 5 and 10 both have common factors of 5. All right, so I'm going to reduce that to 1/6 times 9/2, because 10 divided by 5 is 2. But wait, look at here. I also have more common factors. 6 and 9 have a common factor of 3. So I'm going to rewrite these again. I'm going to rewrite it below. They both can be divided by 3. So 6 divided by 3 equals 2. And 9 divided by 3 equals 3. So now instead of doing 5/9 times 6/10, I have 1/2 times 3/2. And 1 times 3 equals 3. And 2 times 2 equals 4. And now I'm done. My answer is 3/4. Now if I didn't simplify ahead of time, I would get 5 times 9 equals 45. And 6 times 10 equals 60. Now we know 45 and 60 both have common factors of 5, but they actually have common factors of 15. 45 divided by 15. 15, 30, 45 equals 3. And 60 divided by 15. 15, 30, 45, 60 equals 4. So notice how the answers are the same. You could reduce before or after. One last example I want to show you is 4/9 times 18. I'm going to rewrite that up here for you. Now we already know that 18 is simply just 18 over 1. So in looking at this problem, you can see clearly that I can reduce beforehand because the 9 and 18 both have a common factor of 9. So as I rewrite this, I'll rewrite it below. I have 4. Now 9 divided by 9 equals 1. So I have 4 over 1 now. And 18 divided by 9 equals 2. So I have 2 over 1. Now this is a much simpler problem than the one above. 4 times 2 equals 8. And 1 times 1 equals 1. So 8 over 1 really is just 8. Now you could do this on your own if you want to. You multiply 4 times 18 and 9 times 1. When you reduce it, you'll get the same answer. Alright, so you guys, right now, as you're sitting at home, grab a piece of paper or your notebook and try these 4 problems. 1/8 times 1/2, 2/3 times 4/5, 3/10 times 5/6, 3/4 times 12, which keep in mind is 12 over 1. Alright, bring those problems into class tomorrow when I meet with your group. We'll go over them. Good luck, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.